Hello, beautiful muses. Welcome back to CosmoMuse Tarot. I am super excited about this reading. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. And sometimes it's fun to kind of mix things up a bit. A lot of the readings I do sort of focus on what's coming, what to know about the future. And this one is a little bit more of a reflective thing. To understand something that has integrated into us and to get a little bit more insight and awareness of what that is so we can really honor it and use it and be excited about it. And this integration is about having gone through the Yang water tiger year, the Chinese year of the water tiger. We switch. Astrologically speaking, we switched to the new animal on February 4th, which from when I put this reading out will have been a couple of days prior to this. But I wanted to be into that new energy because I feel like that's when we get that recognition and those understandings really download and we have these ahas because we're suddenly in this new energy. And it helps us to see through some comparison what has developed. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, the short of it is, what did we develop through the Yang Water Tiger year that's now sort of integrated into us? Okay, so we're going to pick 4 piles from this beautiful spiral oracle for you guys to choose from. Whew. Sorry, hold on. It's too long lengthwise for my hands to do, so I have to do it this other side. I have to shove all that. Okay. This card. Okay, we've got the journey. Cool forest shade. I believe there's well, it might be a leopard, but there's sort of a tigery feline in there anyway. Reflecting my center of fire. And last one. Ooh. This one. Sacred sexuality. Okay. So those are our piles. Pile 1, we've got the journey. I'll hold these up a little bit closer. Pile 2, cool forest shade. Pile 3, reflecting my center of fire. Pile 4, sacred sexuality. Okay, so for those of you that like the breath work, we'll do that now to help you tap into your higher self and some inspiration to help you intuitively get to the right pile for you. Okay, so feel your feet firmly against the ground. Ground your energy down into your body. This is where intuition, we have to ground ourselves to get into our intuition, down in our sacral center, down in our grounding. Now take a deep breath and pull that air up, up, up to the space between your brows. Hold it. Suck in a little bit more air to add pressure. And then out loud, exhale. This opens up your crown chakra as well as ignites your third eye. And with that grounding, kind of pulling all of that into your body. And then look over these 4 different cards, these 4 piles, and ask which one is the right reading for you around what has integrated into you due to going through the Yang Water Tiger year. All right, I'll see you guys in your readings. Hello, pile 1, and welcome to your reading. If this is you guys, you picked the Journey card from the Spiral Oracle. And then I've laid out a few other Oracle cards to kind of give a cohesive understanding around what this integration is. And then at the end, I've got 4 tarot cards that I will turn over. I didn't want to see what they were to influence the oracle cards because they're a little bit more of some context rather than the subject matter. So I haven't seen those yet. We'll discover those and explore them together in a bit. But diving into what your integration, what the Yang Water Tiger brought your way and what you were able to sort of develop and mature and now integrate into you, having gone through a year with this figure. And the water tiger is one that is, it has a very Aquarian energy, but a little bit softer around the edges than typical tiger. It's a softer tiger than is typical. But it also cleared away a lot of sort of fields of debris, fields of illusion, fields of baggage. It was a very clarifying and purifying year, but that Yang water is like moving big water. So it can feel dramatic going through it, but in the end, what's now integrating, having been through that, is so gorgeous what I'm seeing here. And all of the cards really were touching into very, very similar things. So to start with the journey, this is all about you getting to a place this year of understanding how to feel like less of an outsider, a lot more self-acceptance coming in through going on a journey that allowed you to really come into contact with a lot of people, be vulnerable with a lot of people. That vulnerability, that journey of like really laying yourself out there brought some new deep connections and understanding of any feelings of separateness you've had, and likely with like people that have been in your life for some time, even groups you're associated with, old things with old friends, old family, new friends, new family, new people. There's just been this thing of you kind of going through something where I think that whether it's been conscious or more of a subconscious thing, like I think you've laid some things out on the table about feelings of separateness you've had, of differentness, of separateness. And that vulnerability helped you to see how those were illusions. That water really helped to, once you laid it out, really wash this film away of like that you are separate in some capacity. And just like your heart just sort of opened and got, I don't know, like reflection, mirroring back to others of the truth of how they see you, which is not as separate as you've assumed, or thinking about you in certain ways that would make you need to feel separate. I think that there was like a laying of hearts on the table of like, no, that's whatever it is about you that you feel you need to kind of separate is not a deal to other people. It's not something to separate due to. And through that, it's like your heart started connecting so much more deeply and authentically and openly with others, and really kind of expanded your heart to not just needing to heal and protect and move through your heart, but this way that you've been able to touch other people's hearts and let their hearts touch you really has like opened you up to larger and larger and larger layers of the heart. Moving on to the mandala of the heart, the frequency integrating within you as like your layers of heart have gone much further than your own boundaries of heart to, family heart, community heart, group heart, collective heart, cosmic heart. And in that cosmic heart space that I think is like your it's like you had to let your personal heart fall apart in order to put it back together in a way that was not fragmented, and the process of putting it back together in a more holistic, real, updated, authentic, vulnerable, open way, just had you go through so many layers of heart healing. But that heart healing also touched other hearts and became a general heart healing energy that integrated. So almost like an archetype that's integrated into you as like heart healer, because you've done the process of healing your own heart. And in the process, while you were doing that, you were healing others' hearts in that process. And having been able to go through that, it's just cracked wide open, and the frequency of the heart for you has gone into this cosmic level, and the level that like a priestess would hold, of just being so aware of heart energy on a cosmic level. And then we move to the Krishna, which is also all about just this divine heart, this openness to the divine, the love of the divine, but also a playfulness within that, and knowing that joy, and opening your heart to joy is one of the greatest connectors to the divine and to sort of divine feminine, which the mandala of the heart speaks a lot about, and this ability to just really, really beautifully understand a much higher octave of heart and love, and a resonance that just like, I feel like what's integrating around you and within you, and the kinds of energies you're open to and have access to, it's just like your presence is heart healing. It's like you don't even have to do anything. Just moving through your heart, trusting this heart that's been rebuilt in such a beautiful, whole, connected way. It's just, to continue to do that, your presence is heart healing. You don't have to consciously try to heal hearts. The wellness of your heart is enough to, the presence of it, help attune others and heal others. And then this drum card is kind of the tool you've picked up. I feel like it's this understanding, and it just blows my mind, the alignment of the cards that came out and how well they go together. Because in the shamanic umbrella, the drum, is the universal heartbeat. And this card talks a lot about finding your own drum beat, finding your own rhythm, your own beat, but also being so deeply, deeply in connection and resonance with the universal heartbeat at the same time. So finding your personal, distinct, original beat within and an attunement with that kind of universe beat, the beat of the universe. And there's something about it that is one part grounding, but another part, it's like you're capable of almost being in a walking trance because of how connected to your heart you are, and that beat and that connection to your beat. And that's part of your presence just being healing, is like there's a rhythm to what's integrated into you and to your heart that just touches other people in like a trance-like way that can throw them into trance-like states. Because, and I feel like when you are alone and with yourself, you probably naturally go into trance-like states now because of that connection to your beat, your heart, the divine heart, the bigger connection and interconnection of heart is really gorgeous. And then we have this agape card, which is devotion. And so to me, this shows that like you not only has this just like integrated into you and it's like part of you, it's like you get it. You get that this is important. You get that you've done really, really, really important work that has really changed you in important ways, and you're very devoted now. Not only is this integrated, but you're devoted to this integration. It's become something really holy, really anchored in you in a way that you just cherish and you want to honor and you want to share and you want to practice and you want to spread and keep well, and just, it's just really gorgeous energy. And then one thing I also kind of picked up on is like this whole process has been a journey for you in the Tiger year of like almost imploding your heart and letting the fragments fall apart because there was no way to like mend them super well, and you just sort of like let it fall apart to start over and rebuild it. And that was a journey in itself. But having mended and just like completely expanded, not just a healed heart, but an integration of like the divine, cosmic, whatever you want to call it, universal heart, and this deep anchoring into the divine feminine heart. The drum speaks of like a new journey opening up as well. And so I think this was just it was an initiation, and now you're like this new yin water rabbit year. I think there will be more of an external journey with this heart that you've developed, this beautiful, gorgeous heart energy, and what you can do with it and how you can share it and how you can heal with it. And yeah, it's just really gorgeous energy. But I don't know what else to say here. So let's look at your tarot cards and see what kind of context they can give about this. So we've got 9 of Courage, 9 of Gratitude, Judgment, and Temperance. I believe I have to look at the little guide. It's interesting because I had a different tarot deck lined up, and as I was opening up the different sort of guidebooks for some of these oracle cards, the pamphlet that came with this, that sort of its guidebook, fell out, and I was like, actually, these cards would be really beautiful with this spread. So it was almost like divinely nudged to use this. Okay, so gratitude. Gratitude is earth. Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. Beautiful. So 9 of earth, 9 of fire, 9 of earth, judgment and temperance. Ugh. I mean, yeah. So definitely what I'm feeling is this is a perfect time. You need to really, really get the most of this integration. The guidance from the tarot is saying it is really beautiful, fertile timing right now to do some reflection on this. I think you need to do some journaling. You need to, any way you can reflect on this, conversation with people that can mirror things back to you, journaling, talking to your heart, anything you can do to reflect on the past year since last February 4th. What has your heart been through? What kind of journey has it been through? In what ways did you allow it to fall apart? And in what ways did you rebuild it? Did you open it? Did you feel much more connected and feel a higher octave of what the heart is and what love is? And then this is also saying that there's an aspect about this too that is leading to such, like a deep fulfillment of your values in a way that can draw value back to you. So there's a skill here that I think in the rabbit year that you can develop. So I'm kind of looking at the tarot a little bit of like how to go forward with this integration. I should have said that to start with. Yeah, so I think that there's a deep skill because of how valuable this has become to you, and the devotion that you feel towards this, there is the presence of a skill here. And this is a year where you can really hone and mold and craft this skill into, or this like, it's like natural talent, and now you have to mold it and craft it into skillfulness. And I think that going into this rabbit year, you're going to have this opportunity to create some skillfulness from new talent that's kind of emanating from this heart energy, and something that can bring, deep fulfillment on a personal level. Yeah, gorgeous. So definitely a call to action to do something with this energy. And judgment, this is saying to me that even if you don't make the decision to do something with this, to really hone and craft this beautiful healer heart, drumbeat, divine heart energy, the universe is going to step in and kind of ensure that you do something with it. And then temperance here, I think this can speak a lot to what I talked about with the 9 of gratitude and cultivating a skill. I think it's like this is a card asking you to develop some patience with the process and to push yourself to your edges of this, to really push yourself out of comfort zones, push yourself to see many different perspectives about heart and heart healing, heart energy. Push yourself out of your comfort zone to your edges, by taking leaps, by connecting with those who have that skill already really integrated, that can expand your viewpoints with this, expand your understanding and beliefs and perspective here. So I think, and I love that it's coming right under this drum, because there was that call to action in the drum that that you are going to be going on a journey. And I think that that Temperance card is like, yeah, it's time to kind of step out of your comfort zone and push yourself here. And the universe, judgment's coming through. This is a call from the universe to do this kind of fated thing that I don't think it was necessarily fated from your birth, but because of this work, it's just like a magnet now. It's now fated. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so gorgeous reading. I actually do want to bring a message in. Give me 1 second. Let's see. We'll do the crystal cards. I just want to bring them just like a simple parting message, and we'll use the crystal realm for that. Okay, this one wanted to come out. Sunstone. Take pleasure in the things you do. I love that so much. The Krishna talked about that, like that divine heart energy. There's something about joy and pleasure that is the thing that keeps it really open and healed, and having that healing energy. So it's, do the things you need to do to push yourself, to develop skill here, but don't do it in like an academic way. Do it in a way where you keep moving deeper and deeper into it through a connection to pleasure and joy, and pushing yourself to the edges, past your comfort zone of what pleasure is. I think that's actually a really profound message for some of you. The idea of pushing the boundaries of your pleasure and being okay with pleasure as something that helps you cultivate skill. Yeah, I don't know, that was coming through. I know I had a weird tone there, like a question in my tone, but I was trying to understand what was downloading as I said it. So yeah, push your level of comfort about pleasure. Really try to be more open to pleasure. And that is what's going to help you to take this new raw talent that this newly built, newly developed heart has, and really mold it and make it skillful with this all. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you. Beautiful, beautiful integration pile 1. If this resonated for you, I always appreciate a thumbs up. It's a very simple way to support the channel, and little comments are fun to read, and definitely subscribe if you're not yet. All right, see you guys. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your reading about what is integrating and has integrated into you through going through the Yang Water Tiger year. Okay, so in the first pile, I didn't read directly from the book for your card, so you guys picked the Cool Forest shade, but when I read your message, I just felt that channeling come through of that, like, I need to read this from the book, so there must be a reason for that. So I'm going to do that, but what I can say just off the top of my head, having spent some time with your oracle cards, is this is a very potent integration for you guys, a really important one. So, okay. Cool Forest shade. I have already realized that the perfect time to do things does not exist. Fear of making a mistake is to die slowly, is to live halfway, as if an as if in an eternal rehearsal. In the face of external orders that humiliate my conscience, I am disobedient. I take indifference in my hands and look at it closely. I observe that it is made of cowardice, and in an act of love, I offer it in the fire. Daring to build or dismantle in order to grow means losing one's balance. So with courage, I go out to find myself, because if I don't, I invite the danger of getting lost. Fear is always ready to show me things in their worst light. The world belongs to those who dare. So the dare call to action is life as an adventure, fortune favors the brave. Today I embrace the art of the decisive, which is a really powerful message, and I absolutely see how it relates to the water tiger energy. The tiger is very good at getting us in touch with our personal beat, our originality, with rebelliousness, with a fierce sense of freedom within us. And I think that there's something in you this year that you really learned it really sunk in for you about, taking action, not waiting for the permission or for that, any other authority, anything outside of your own intuition giving you the green light to do things, and really finding a sense of courage about yourself through tapping into that new honoring of your own intuition, of your own capacity to take brave action, to dare, to take risks, and do it out of confidence and a willingness to bet on yourself and go for it. There's something I think this year that in some smallish way you went for, and maybe there were positive results from that, and so now that is integrated into you, and now what's coming alive in you is oh, it's me. I'm the one that tells me to, gives me the green light on the risks I want to take. There's no external thing that can tell me if it's right or the right timing, or will go well, or will be accepted. Those types of things come from my intuition and my instinct. And then moving on to the karma of Kutuhala. I probably said that wrong, I'm sorry. Kutuhala is again about, I love how these energies line up. It's sort of this thing of really, really committing to those things that light your soul up, and figuring out the difference of feeling lit up, feeling that wonderment, feeling that enrapturedness with life to follow something. It's you got the difference this year between that having sort of a butterfly energy that might come from sort of an anxiousness, flitting from one thing to another because they're interesting and colorful and beautiful and I follow my bliss type of thing, to knowing where that is deeply in our soul. So how to commit deeply to something that brings that wonderment, that deep, passionate excitement and curiosity from within. Yeah, I think there's been something where through maybe the little daring you took, and that courage that it's integrating and has integrated into you, I think that there's been a block with that for you, where maybe an aspect of you wants to follow those risks and those passions and those curiosities, but in such a light way. You don't know how to, you haven't in the past, or it's been a struggle to know how to really, really, truly, deeply commit, because it's been hard for you to tell if this draw and this passion is coming from, kind of an anxiety and a fear of deep commitment, and a fear of really taking a risk versus sort of lightly taking a risk. And I think that one really stepping into something this year that was a little deeper and a little bit more committed and a little bit more brave, just has like opened a floodgate, and you're like, oh, that's where intuition is versus anxiety. That's how I know when I commit and I go deep and I commit for a long time to something. It's like you're getting it. Something about this you're like getting. And then we have Parvati, which again is about this devotion, which brings about a transformation. And it's this, I mean, it's so in line. It's just shocking to me how these readings have been so in, like the cards have lined up so perfectly together. So the story of Parvati, in kind of a paraphrased way, is she was deeply in love with the god Shiva, but he was deep inside of a mountain practicing yoga, and she didn't know how to reach him, and also knew he needed some grounding. And so she gave up everything in her life to go up to this mountain, maybe outside of where he was. I can't remember the exact story, but definitely paraphrasing here. And stood in this yoga pose, even though females were not supposed to do yoga. She said, you know, convention be damned, which is another tiger thing. I am so devoted here. And she did this for months until her strength and her energy just emanated. And she transformed herself, and then Shiva felt her energy and came to her. And Shiva, to me, and that devotion she has to him, is not about, sacrificing yourself for a man and giving yourself up to do something to get his attention or to deserve his love. This is about following your heart and your soul to something that you really want to devote yourself to, and what you will go through, the transformations you are willing to take on in order to really connect to what it is you're devoting yourself to really take on that energy and be deserving of what you devote yourself to. So beautiful. So it's more of a metaphor. I don't love anyway, moving on. Next we've got the seer from the Shaman Oracle, and this is so in line as well, that sometimes these things that awaken us, that fill us with passion and wonder, that then we devote ourselves to and we take a risk on and we really go down the path, require us to see things we don't always want to see truths that aren't always pretty, and to deeply, deeply trust our intuition about that, because there may be some dissonance out in the world around what's being seen and the truth of things. There may be some difficulty even within you of seeing the truth of something about yourself. But this is something in your daring, in your devotion, in your willingness to really commit to those things that you just will give your everything up in your life to follow and devote to and take a risk on. There's probably some layers that you had to go through of truth seeing that scared you, and this is a practice in knowing how to trust our intuition and how to be brave about our intuition when it doesn't always show us something completely pretty. Which also kind of daisy chains us over to the poet. And in this deck, the poet has a lot to do with this seer energy and this truth-telling energy. It's like an observer energy, an ability to kind of step back and see the complexity and the intricacies that go into even the smallest things, and being able to show a whole world around certain things that sometimes are hard to see. That deep truth telling becomes timeless. It resonates, so even in the moment, sometimes, there's been a lot of poets that in their modern time, people felt not so positive about, but there's a timelessness there because of the truth in that resonance and that trust in the intuition they brought to some truth. And so there's a time, this deep courage coming through in you about your intuition, about knowing how to take risks and devote to the things that are real and deep and intuitively lit up in you, and how to stick with it even when they bring challenges and transformations, in order to really connect with or be granted access to, as well as this deep willingness to see the truth, to see things for what they really are. Yeah, gorgeous, really potent stuff for you guys. And definitely tigery energy all over this. So, along those lines, it was a water tiger year, which is big water. So like moving water, waterfalls, rivers, things that move and clarify. And so I think that there's probably been, like I said at the start, probably layers and histories around you of knowing what your intuition was versus your anxiety, what deep devotion was, what real committed devotion was, and a daring to be the truth teller that I think you already, is probably innate in you. And just being willing to, sometimes that not to be a popular thing, even to you about yourself, but like really honoring that timeless, true thing. Okay, so now we're going to look. I have 4 tarot cards that I haven't looked at. And this is going to be just some sort of guidance of going forward with what's integrated in you, some guidance Spirit wants to bring. 10 of intuition. I love that. 10 is like the completion. So this to me, before I even turn over what else is here, is like, yeah, you're really getting your intuition. It's sunk in. You understand the voice of your intuition versus anything else in you, versus outside opinion, anxiety, instinct. There's so many things that get in the way of us understanding what intuition is. And it's like, oh, you get it. You get your intuition. You have a direct line with your intuition after this year. And then 10 of gratitude. Yeah, there's just looking at the colors in this card. I think a lot of this started in your head, and it's really anchoring down into you, like manifested into you, into your material world. You're seeing this in the 3D realm somehow mirrored to you, which is beautiful. And just an encouragement, I think, that those 3D manifestations are signs of this integration, and will continue to be signs of that integration going forward. The Fool. Yeah, this is a very new, I think this is a new feeling for you, a deeply new understanding for you. And going back to fortune favors the bold or the brave, whatever it is. I think there's new things being lit up in you, and your intuition is finding new things it wants you to devote yourself to. And this, going forward from now is the correct timing to allow that to tap into that intuition and allow it to give you your answers, and being really in the present is the best way to be with your intuition. And so even though that doesn't always allow for these long-term plans, it's going to let you know when that right impulse is right for a new thing you're feeling like a need to kind of devote yourself to. The Tower. And it may, it's definitely a new path, and it might show you things that were unstably built in your past and time to kind of move past those. So moving towards the new and letting the past fall apart if that happens, because it wasn't built right for where you're going. So there's certain things that this integration are going to move you past, but in life, it can feel like something's falling apart, but it's not. It's just a new path is opening up to you. Really, really beautiful for you guys. Okay, we're going to end this with just a very simple message from the crystal realm. Woo! I think you get 2 cards. Oh, there's 3. Well, I mean, that makes sense. This is a very potent reading, so you guys get 3 messages. Chrysacola, start fresh, exactly. We were just talking about that. Aquamarine, go with the flow. Appetite, get out of your comfort zone. Beautiful. And look at all these green, blue energies. It's very throat chakra to me, with the kind of turquoisey expression coming through here. Yeah, there's a lot. I'm matching this card, and a lot of that coming through. Okay, beautiful, gorgeous reading, you guys. Good job on a massive integration through your connection to the Yang Water Tiger year, and beautiful, great things to come for you moving into the Yin Water Rabbit year. All right, if this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. Little comments are always really fun to read and see what you guys are thinking, and definitely subscribe if you're not yet. All right, I'll see you guys later. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading all about what integration is taking place, is coming into your wiring, having gone through the Yang Water Tiger year. So one thing I wanted to say right off the bat, in relation to the first 2 piles, I did feel this insight that you still have like just another little step to go for this to really, really sink in. It's like you're right there. But I want to help you to see what you're on the cusp of, what you do know already. It's just sort of like, we'll get there. Okay, so starting with the card you chose that you were drawn to, reflecting my center of fire. This is such a beautiful card, where I think, it's a beautiful card. That being said, I think it's probably come with some difficult lessons. And I just want to say that this Tiger year for you is, I just feel that it was probably a lot. It was probably tough, I want to say. It was probably a tough year for you guys. Light is on the horizon. We'll get there. Okay, so reflecting my center of fire, there were lessons this year that you've gone through that you're starting to really get and integrate around really trusting your inner sight and your willpower connected to that to create dynamic action in your life. I think you're someone who's probably really good at this in general, but I think there's also things where you can vacillate through wanting to make things happen, so pushing, and then sometimes wanting to control things So like grasping. And so sometimes there's this like torque in you, and these things sort of wrestle a little bit. And what is integrating about this for you is like loosening up on each of these and like a deeper trust in your connection to spirit and the divine and intention, and sort of this letting go of this knowing right action of trusting your intentions and trusting that spirit wants your highest good in things. And so this ability to kind of loosen your grip, ease up on your push, and trust that your really powerful willpower creates a bridge for you to your highest purpose. And letting that process be a little bit more organic, and trusting that it is a process, and that it's not like the more you try to push it or control it, the more you impede that. And so this deep, like I think you've been through some things this year of like forces that are bigger than you in your life that have really helped you to see ways in which you do one or the other or both at the same time, and are really helping you to step back and find a little bit more trust in the process, trust in your willpower connected to your intention, and that then letting that go and be a little bit more organic, this bridge to your purpose just really can have a clear path to build itself, to create itself. And you just sort of like need to get out of your own way and spirit's own way, because you are a really amazing manifester, but you have learned some things this year about where you may get in the way of the manifesting and kind of impede it, actually, when you think that you're actually like doing something to further it. And then the ivory wish fulfilling crow coming up is just saying again, it's almost like the same message in a slightly different way coming through here of like knowing how to get through the tangles of life, a deep trust in yourself to move things forward. But that trust really happens for you when you are in the deepest alignment with yourself, when you are right with your intention and with the divine, and just like a little bit more detachment about things. It allows you this spaciousness and this grit to get through what needs to be gotten through, and a toughness that you possess that stems from this deep, beautiful internal soul alignment that aligns with the soul of the universe. So there's a story in this card about, I'm totally going to butcher this, so I'm absolutely paraphrasing, but I think I get the essence of like, the Buddha being able to turn into a crow, and it sits atop a tree. And the way I'm seeing the tree is like, even in like, because this is something I've studied, the Celtic spirit wheel, the tree is sort of the axis mundi. It's the universal axis that bridges us and helps us map into the different worlds, a lower world, a middle world, an upper world. There's different ways of mapping the worlds that are seen and unseen. But there's something about like being able to turn into this bird and take sanctuary in this tree that's sort of like the thing that connects us to the different realms, and trusting the protection of that beautiful tree and the strength of it, and the view we have to have intentions, to have purposes, and to then be able to just trust both in the right timing through spirit, but also in the right timing through our ability to detach and witness, and then through instinct kind of and intuition, be able to see and be in the moment with that. And then what comes next is so beautiful, and I think this is the stuff that's coming in that you're starting to feel, and that's getting you over the hump of like really seeing how you need to kind of step back a little and let, you know, willpower and intention have some space. Is I think you've had moments of feeling this, moments of getting so frustrated because there's been these, you know, bigger powers kind of helping you to see this, which can be frustrating and feel like impediments, feel like your world is even being turned upside down and you can't control it. But I think it's had you in moments of like throwing up your hands and being like, okay, like I surrender. And that was sort of the point, was to surrender. And those are the moments when you like really come in tune with yourself and align and lighten up and detach. And then this Vata air can come in, that's this lighter air that brings creativity and downloads and beautiful things for you to muse about and feel inspired. And it's this lightening up that you've really needed, that Spirit, through the frustrations that it's brought into your path, was ultimately trying to help you lighten up, to get in touch with this Vata energy, this allowing of things to kind of channel through you that are so beautiful because you've given it space. And so I think you've had moments with that, and it's inspiring you to understand better this relationship to your will and your intention, and how on both ends there can be a little bit too much want of control there. But it's just, I think you're getting it. You've had moments with this, and I think you're just like right on the cusp of like, oh, okay. Lighten things up, allow that space for things to flow and channel and inspire. The thing with the Vata energy, which is not your problem, is it doesn't always know how to ground and manifest. You know how to ground and manifest. And so it's like taking this energy that you've struggled with of being light and open and airy, allowing a little bit of that into your life. And then the way that you will then be able to manifest, because you already know you're a good manifester, but this is just going to click a lesson into place so deeply about the quality of manifesting you can do and the alignment of manifesting you're capable of when you allow that space and some airiness to come in. And then we have the rainbow, which to me is one sign of like, really, I actually want to read it because it was a really beautiful message. Hold on. And I know I'm going to butcher it. I won't try to paraphrase another thing for you guys. Okay, symbolizes the 7 steps of a true spiritual path, which manifests as the colors of the 7 chakras. In the Himalayas, the rainbow body is seen as the full realization of our essence. And I think you're just like that spaciousness you've kind of surrendered into a little bit more this year is helping you to see more spectrums of your color that have always been there, but you just haven't expanded into yet. But you're like really starting to see all the different spectrums of your color and the wider essence of who you are and what you're capable of. At the end of our lives, we can journey across the rainbow bridge to the highest heavenly realm. When the rainbow appears, it is an affirmation that all is well and that you are in right relationship with Spirit. Another thing it says, I'm not going to read the whole thing, is also an indication that the end of a storm is near. So I do have that feeling that like it's been a tough year. There's been storms, but the lessons that are downloading, that you're integrating because of those storms, are allowing you to see so much more of your spectrum and your true essence. And that the storm is almost over. And where I'm feeling like you're just on the precipice of this, but there's just like another step to go, is the tear that came out. And this is like the last step for you to really get this and really integrate this, is I think there's just like a lot of tensions that you, along with this kind of control thing I felt in here, that you've tried to control and grasp and get a hold of and, you know, be your strong, solid self. But you need the release of tears. You need to let your body let these out, and that can happen through tears. Listen to music that can really help you kind of get into your body and release things. Breath work more through your mouth, and kind of stop breathing through your nose and breathing through your mouth to some music can also really push you even further and faster into that body and some releases. Or whatever it is, allow it. Don't try to make it happen. Try to kind of give your body space and intention to release, and let it come. It will. And I think that's the thing that will really help this all settle in and integrate and really like anchor into you the integration, the lessons this year has brought. So gorgeous. Okay, we are going to look at a few tarot cards now of some advice of how to take this forward. What to do with this. Creator of gratitude. Initiate of intention, that makes sense. Strength, beautiful. And Six of intuition. I just need to look real quick. I think the creator in this deck is the queen. Yeah, it is the queen. Okay, just needed to make sure. Okay, let me look at these colors. I love this deck because it's a little bit more intuitive than like relying on the typical tarot associations. Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling tears needed here, but also like going forward, I'm feeling like your heart really coming alive. I'm feeling a blue flame, which to me is this ability, is really actually like a violet flame in certain spiritual practices where you can you know, a lot of, I don't know if you've ever done the, you know, practice maybe at a new moon or a new year where you burn things you want to let go of. If you're more in a meditative state and things come up you want to do, you can sort of mentally, imaginal-wise or trance-wise sort of imagine putting things into a violet flame. And I feel that very present in your energy going forward, something that maybe you can place somewhere, place a violet, I almost like want to instruct you, like place a violet flame somewhere in your body where it feels right for it to live, and somewhere where you can place baggage and heaviness and those tensions and those needs for control, because I think it's going to be an ongoing, I think you've learned a lot, I think a lot is integrating about it, but I think it's a practice that you will have to work at also for some time, of like anytime you feel that grasping, that control, that pushing, put it into that violet flame. And I think that's something that's really going to help you touch into that Vata, you know, keep that Vata energy somewhat present and alive in that spaciousness, and really make your heart more joyful. I feel that. I feel you need some joy. I feel like you need some lightening up, and that is a practice I think that will help you to stay connected to more joy, more lightness, more fun, more allowing of intention and willpower to be a little bit free from your grasp, to do their thing a little bit more intuitively. Yeah, I think you're also going to start to see where this patterning, where these tensions lie in you, where they got patterned into. The more you kind of practice this putting tensions and grasping and pushing into your violet flame, letting your heart open, it's going to lead you to a lot of understanding about where this patterning happened. Likely, from your upbringing, childhood, things like that. Whether it was just like your own sort of inner workings in essence, or whether that was sort of trained into you in some way. But I see you, the potential, who you are becoming with this integration is just this, just like I touched on, like you're already a good manifester, but maybe you don't always manifest what actually is aligned with who you deeply are inside. It's more because of what's expected or the visible world type of scenarios. But I see you coming into this amazing manifester quality in a much more soulful way, and it's giving you a much more glowy, softer feel rather than this kind of tight intensity. It's like this softer, glowy aura, manifester quality around you is what I'm feeling. It's so gorgeous, so beautiful. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just feel a lot of that tension in you guys, and I think it's so close to being let go. So just, if your body starts to want to cry and your emotions start to well up, don't hold it back. Let it go, because that is integrating this and moving you into this glowy manifester. Okay, let's end this reading with a message from the crystal realm, just something simple, easy for you to go forward with. Aragonite. You can't make this up. Release your emotional baggage. That's even a stone you may want to go to somewhere that sells crystals, even if it's online, if you can't find something local, and get some aragonite. It might also help you to let your tears flow. Wow, beautiful reading, you guys. Leaving you with that rainbow message that the storm is almost over. You're so close. And just look back and appreciate and be so proud of yourself for how much more of your spectrum and essence you've allowed to surrender into and see and integrate into yourself. Like that is huge, So gorgeous. Good luck moving into the next year of the Yin Water Rabbit, which is a very, I think of a tear with that too. It's small water, mist, dew, raindrops, tears. So maybe that energy will help you also kind of release some things. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you. If this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. It's a super simple way to support the channel and my little algorithm. Little comments are always fun to check in on as well, and definitely subscribe if you are not yet. All right, see you guys. Hello, beautiful Pile 4. Welcome to your reading about what is integrating in you having gone through the Yang Water Tiger year. Your message feels so straightforward. I feel like we're going to fly through this, but we'll see. Never know how it will go. Okay, so to start with, the card you chose that you were drawn to of Sacred Sexuality. Yes, it has to do with sexual energy, but it's a lot more than sex itself. This has to do with being really, really in touch with like the lower chakras, the lower realms of our body, really feeling that stability and grounding under us, home within ourself, hence vitality arising, which ignites sort of a flow and a creativity and knowing of what things feel like, a deep connection to our senses and perceptions, and that pleasure, that moving through what really feels good to us, helping us to be in touch with this deep, creative, passionate force. So yeah, it can bring a more sexual sensibility into you, but also just this creation energy in general, as well as just this feeling of feeling anchored into our body, feeling right in our body, feeling grounded, feeling safe in a lot of ways. So something about this tiger year, and it is, the tiger is a very kind of sensual, lunar animal that kind of comes out at night, and I think of those night hours as more of those yin times, those deepening into body and soul times. So there is something, and then it was also a water year, which is more of a feminine element, really feeling the flow. So that lunarness of the tiger of night, and then the water of that flow, you definitely feel that. It's just like you really opened up to that aspect of the water tiger, of just like embodying it, being daring to move how it feels right to move, being rebellious in being completely honest, true, and in your body, and loving it, finding pleasure in it, finding unabashedness in it. Really gorgeous stuff. Okay, so moving to the next card, the Solve of Polluti, 741 hertz. This is a frequency that tends to purify all sorts of things. It could be pollutants, toxins, negativity. There's something about you in this year having really gotten much more in touch with being anchored into your body, being a little bit more grounded, a little bit more fluid, a little bit more instinctual, that I think helped you to recognize what felt good in your body and not good in your body, and really taking steps to purify your surroundings, detoxify your body, detoxify your mind, really cultivate things physically in your environment, and that you put inside of yourself as well, that feel light, that feel positive, that make you feel alive and in touch with your higher essence, with the light that's within you that can get clogged up or coated over or squished down, whatever it is. It's like, that flowy, grounded, instinctual, pleasurable place was just like, no more filters, no more negativity, no more toxins. And definitely, like, these could be lessons you've gone through over the past year. So maybe you've had challenges around this kind of stuff, but it's starting to like really sink in. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you right at this moment of seeing the reading are like going through some sort of detox diet or regimen for, a few days, or even if it's more of like a detox from technology, although you're watching your, YouTube, but maybe you've just gone through it or intending to, or this could be that call to action of like, yeah, that has felt, something I've been feeling. This would be a really great way to really anchor this, integrate this kind of new deep wisdom within you of what feels right to you and what feels toxic, what feels positive to you and what feels negative, what feels light to you and what feels heavy. That kind of stuff, just whatever it is, whether it's, like toxins and, doing a diet to detox things in your body, doing a media detox, a social detox, whatever kind of detox, I think it's a really good time to really integrate this, just signaling to your body in that instinctual creative place you're in touch with through this integration, that like you hear it, you get it, you're taking care of it, you're honoring this. Really beautiful. And then we move to Saraswati, and this again, I'm blown away by the alignment of the in each reading of the oracle cards that have come out and how well they like just fit into each other. So this is the goddess of creativity, and that's what I'm feeling about this sacred sexuality, is this flow and this creativity and this light that you're understanding about yourself, and the right environments and things to put around you and in you that allow that light to move and create out of you. And that Saraswati energy has just had so much access, or is getting through this integration, newly getting a deeper access to you, to move through you, to be able to channel divine creative inspiration to you, either through body and intuition, through messages, through music, through dance, that then also get framed by you and through you into these things, into music, into writings, into dance, into whatever. But it's just this creative flow. It's like finding your rhythm and your instinct, and it just allows a flow of divine inspiration to flood into you and then out of you. And I'm just feeling, that water element of the tiger. It's a yang water, which is big water, like moving, rushing water or waterfall water, and it's really almost violently kind of purifying and clarifying. And I feel that for you, that essence of that moving water having really cleared different layers within and around you to help you to feel just like the most pure essence of your body, your creativity, and your light, and knowing how to receive and give through it, this beautiful exchange and flow of it. And then we come to Luminous Warrior, which is very similar to a slightly different take on, but the Soul Polluti is about recognizing the light aspect of life, of self, of knowing how to come into a quality of light that is a little bit glowy, that casts very few shadows because of the particles around it, but that's just so compassionate in that it's already kind of incorporated shadow in a way. I hope that makes sense. It's like the shadow has already been incorporated, and there's a way of just being able to see with compassion and with light and with beauty. And this just deep knowing of how to move in life with positivity, with light, with an ability to build bridges, to connect, to find commonality, to see the core essence of things and people in the world, and bring out the best in things, and create the best of things, and show the best of things. And it's not about, there's that, why is it escaping my mind? It's not about spiritual bypassing. This is like a state that's already fully integrated the shadow, and it's very much so interested in creation and creating through that kind of glowy essence that understands what shadow is and understands, because of that, how to move things forward in really compassionate ways, really ethereal, beauty, luminous, compassion and action ways. Gorgeous stuff. And then we've got the unseen as well. And so I feel like it's interesting because I tend to connect things like the unseen realm and the spirit realm with a little bit of like getting into the higher chakras, and you're coming in, you know, through these like much more deep body chakras, even though you've got this light stuff going on. But I do think that through being so embodied, that integration that's coming into you that's so embodied, that really does actually have, it's like it has a direct channel to light and higher chakras and energies and frequencies, but it just like immediately grounds them into body. And maybe that's what I'm seeing here, is that unseen ability to kind of feel, witness, sense the unseen that's integrating in you is not coming fully from being really present in your higher chakras. It's in that ability to immediately anchor things from the higher chakras down within you. And so like your intuition is very much so alive and present to these very divine, ethereal, otherworldly, unseen energies, and just like really being able to feel them in body of what they're trying to communicate, their meaning, what is it's, you know, the purpose of the unseen thing kind of coming into connection or resonance or contact with you. But there's something about like really knowing how to use that, knowing, not just sensing it, but immediately sensing it and being like, oh, this, I know how to use that. I know what I'm supposed to do with that. I know how to create through what this has shown me or brought to me or informed me about. It's like this very usable connection to the unseen, not just this place of, you know, pie in the sky, like, yeah, I'm connected to all these realms and I can deliver messages, but like I can't do much else with it. Like this is like, no, like you can really anchor this in and almost take that unseen energy and manifest things to represent it, to mirror the creativity of what you see in the unseen. And I think it might be really inspiring some of your creativity. So beautiful stuff integrating into you. It's very, it's just very fluid. You know, initially I felt very rooted, but now I'm feeling that channel of like things coming in from these higher frequencies, but like immediately rooting in. And it's this beautiful flow, sort of a light breath and then a deep exhale. Light breath, deep exhale. And it sort of like really helps you to know how to move and create and be present to what you need to be present to, including your own sensations, your own desires, your own drives, how you feel. It can be so hard for us sometimes. You know, a lot of us get up in our heads and detach from like how we feel in our body. And there's something like you've really cleared with that polluti, solve polluti, like you've really cleared so much, like your whole chakra spectrum has been cleared. And it's just like so easy for you to go through any frequency you need to go through within you and outside of you and bring it back to that place where you can create from it. So it's this very creation oriented, but because you have this, you've done this deep purifying, clarifying ability to, daringness even, and willingness to move very easily and clearly and fluidly through all the frequencies and then ground it in. Wow, really, really beautiful stuff. Okay, we are going to look at, I've got 4 tarot cards here, and we're going to look at these to see how you can, now that this is, whether you feel like it has integrated or it's starting to integrate into you, like how to move this forward, where you can take this going forward. So Messenger of Freedom, Creator of Intuition, the Hierophant, and 7 of Intuition. Okay. Wow, look at all these kind of dark night. Yeah, it really is like I'm really feeling that kind of night, feminine, sensual energy here. Yeah, I mean, what I'm getting from Messenger of Freedom is that absolute, it's like this, it's not quite an infinity symbol here, but it does feel like this very fluid, creative connection to source, to different energies, to inspiration, moving into and through you and out of you and back again, and just this cycle of it, of this flow of kind of being able to tap into the primordial, tap into that spacious void of potential, dream time even, really staying open. That's the message I'm getting. It's like, continue to stay very open with this. Messages are still, it's like you've developed, this integration has really developed and helped you to fine tune your understanding of how you receive inspiration and messages and whatnot from source. And so it's just sort of partially saying like, good job, be aware of this and continue to stay open to it, because it is making you into more and more and more of just this beautiful creator, creative creator. Yeah, I'm just feeling a lot of artistry here, but like in an embodied way, just being able to really anchor that deep, dark, rich, fertile energy into you and create through source, create directly through this lifeline to source that you've got. And then also this like deep intuition, and not just like, I feel like you've done maybe some coursework, not technically like academic wise, but you've had mentors or studied under people who have hugely developed their understanding and connection to their intuition. It's like you've really been able to work with people who've already are deep in this, like priestessy, and have kind of solidified like an intellectual, not just a body understanding of this, but like an intellectual understanding of the process. If you were to break down how you even were able to get into this mode and what you've integrated, you understand it, I think, intellectually, as well as how to feel it and be there and just be present in it. And this is something that going forward is opening up so many opportunities and doors and potentials for you. And again, it's you needing to stay really connected to your intuition, beyond appearances, to know which of those opportunities are right for you. But this is all like, it's almost like a test, this funny test coming at the end of like, you've developed this beautiful intuition, so here's all these opportunities. Now you need to use your intuition to know which is the right door, because not all of them are. So like this, coming to some sort of choice moment where there's like all these amazing opportunities that appear so well that can kind of whip you out of body and intuition to like all the sparkly things. And it's testing you to see like, oh, are you gonna, lose that connection to intuition because of the all the sparkly salesmanship of these different potentials? And it's like, you gotta stay into your intuition to get the right one, because they're not all as they appear. Not all that glitters is gold here. But yes, the main thing is that a lot of opportunities are going to start opening to you as this integrates, because of this beautiful, I almost see this as like a raw talent that you've cultivated into a skillfulness. It's like an art. You've developed this art, and it's opening up a lot of potentials, and you just need to stay plugged into how things feel versus appear. So to go down the right, choose the right opportunities that actually have gold within them and not just appear golden. Okay, beautiful, gorgeous reading, you guys. I love this tiger integration for you. Really, really sensual and exciting, and yeah, I love it. Just going to leave you with a last message from the crystal realm, something simple. Bring in the light, yeah. So staying connected to keeping things purified, clarified, to keep things light, so that channel of energy can continue to flow in and out of you, and then anchor into that sensual place. Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. All right, this is where I'm going to leave you. I hope this resonated. If it did, I always appreciate a thumbs up. It definitely helps my algorithm and shows me you're supporting me. And always fun to read little comments, as well as definitely subscribe if you're not. Okay, happy new water rabbit year, and great job on your tiger year. So see you guys later.